all so much for coming. This makes me so happy. For those of you, I think all of you on here know me, but I'm Lauren. I'm a third-year medical student at Stanford. And the entire reason I am in medical school is because of Special Olympics and the amazing people that you see here today, but also more amazing people that I've met along the way. And just hearing about individuals with intellectual disabilities and their journeys through the healthcare system has really sort of lit a fire under me, even as an undergraduate, to really improve the disparities that we see. And one of the main reasons that I have decided to go about this in my work is through education. As most of you probably know, you don't need to be trained how to treat patients with intellectual disabilities in order to graduate medical school. It's not a requirement that you ever talk to a person with autism. And I think as physicians and physician trainees and medical students and residents, we're really afraid of doing something wrong and of things we don't know. And I think that fear is the basis of a lot of the lack of access to healthcare surrounding this population. So my goal with these sort of talks and lunch and learns and a lot of the other educational programming going on related to this topic is really just to introduce you guys to some amazing people and have a really candid conversation about what it's like to navigate the healthcare system as an individual with an intellectual disability and what we as physicians can do better and make sure that the healthcare system does better. So with that, Keith and Bradley, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'll start. I'm sorry, Keith. I didn't know what was going on. You were slowing up on my end. Hi, my name is Bradley. I am a 28-year-old athlete from Galt. I have been in Special Olympics for 15 years. I have actually worked with Tyler on some other projects, so that's how Tyler and Keith and I know each other very well. Along with Lauren, but her and I have worked on some other different separate projects on here. I have been, like I said, I've been playing Special Olympics for about 15 years. I play soccer, I do basketball, and I am a track and field athlete.
Thanks, Bradley. Keith, you want to introduce yourself as well?
I didn't know where else was going,
You're good. That was great.
Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Keith Clements. I'm from Monterey, Sands, California. I've been a specialist for the last 10 years. My favorite sport is basketball. I do basketball, I do swimming, bocce, soccer, basketball, bowling, bocce, I do it all. I stay busy, active all year long. Soccer, I stay active all year long. I'm an active person. So I'm glad to be here tonight with you guys. Thank you for inviting me tonight. Appreciate it.
And then Tyler, I work for Special Olympics Northern California. I do our marketing and communication stuff, and also lead our athlete leadership program, which is working with awesome athletes like Keith and Bradley to connect them with opportunities like this and really elevate them to be advocates. And you'll hear from them, and they're awesome. So they're the voice and face of Special Olympics. I just kind of help get them there. So really excited to be with all of you today.
Fantastic. And then if everyone else wants to introduce themselves, if we want to popcorn it.
Hi, I'm Roxy. I'm super excited to be here. It was a super long day in the hospital, and this just gives me life. So thank you. I'm Allison. Popcorn. Sorry, Allison. I was going to popcorn into Allison.
Oh, I didn't realize we were actually popcorning. So but I'll just go. I'm Allison. I'm a third-year resident at UW. I'm also super excited to have the opportunity to hear from you guys. And I'll popcorn it to UA.
Hey everyone, I'm UA. I'm also a PGY 3. I'm at Stanford with Roxy. I will popcorn it to Stacy.
Hello, I'm Stacy. I'm in my last year of residency at Stanford, physical medicine and rehab with UA and Roxy. Nice to meet you all. I will popcorn it to, let's see, Caitlin.
Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin. I'm an MS2 down in Texas at UT Medical Branch. And I'll popcorn it to Charlotte.
Hi guys, I'm Charlotte. I'm a MS4 at UCLA and I run medical support for the 3 largest adaptive sports organizations in Southern California. So we're less on the Special Olympics side, more on the Paralympic side of things, but I'm really excited to be here.
Sorry, Charlotte, we were popcorning.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. Left tardy to the party. I actually don't know who is gone yet,
That's so true.
'cause I just
Popcorn to
in, so maybe
Quinn?
somebody else handle the
popcorn to Quinn.
Hi guys, my name's Quinn. I'm a PGY3 at UC Davis. Not going to turn my camera on because I'm in the car, but I'm super excited for this. And I popcorn to, let's see, wasn't gone. Keith?
Or I think
I
maybe
think-
Sparsh.
Yeah, Sparsh. I think Keith might. Yeah.
Keith,
Hey,
I was the first
everyone.
one to
Oh, hey everyone, I'm Sparsh. I'm an MS4 from Texas Tech. Excited to be here.
Cool. All right. So we will get started. I know Keith and Bradley well, so I know a lot about them. But I guess we'll start. Do you guys want to talk about maybe a good experience you had in the healthcare system or a bad experience you had and what made those experiences good or bad? You can pick either one. Bradley, you want to start? You were nodding your head.
I would like to start off with the good and then end with the bad. Tyler, I got the double thumbs up from you. So, for me being a patient in the medical field of Stanford or any other hospital that I've been to, it has been very trying sometimes with the doctors not understanding what, like, I understand some of what they're saying, but it's hard for me to communicate with them what they are saying because it could mean one thing, but you could get an RN walking in and doing another thing. I want them to be able to understand for what I am needing and my needs. If I'm in pain, please help. If I didn't call you in or if there's not a test or something, don't come in and, bother me. And I'm not really that type of person, but I really do believe in privacy.
And Bradley, what do you want to say about doctors and communication and talking to you and talking to your parents and making assumptions about people with intellectual disabilities? I know you have a lot to say about that as well.
Thanks for throwing me a bone there, Lauren. For people with intellectual disabilities, for people like me in the medical field, hang on, sorry. For people like me being in the bed, getting these procedures, and first of all, when you're first going to a hospital at a young age, it's a very scary experience. But I've been doing this for almost 20-something years now. Like I said, for if you're a kid going to a hospital for a broken ankle or something, it's a very scary experience. But I also want the doctors and the nurses to understand that if something does go wrong, to not only talk to the parent that's right next to you, but talk to the person that you're going to be operating on. The person that you're going to be operating on is standing right there or laying right there in the bed. Your patient might not be able to understand what the heck you're saying, but they will be able to understand it once the smoke clears, if you guys know what I'm saying. So not only talk to their guardian, but talk to them. because they're there too. They're not, yeah, they're getting the test and getting better, but don't treat them like, okay, I'm just gonna talk to their guardian. Don't do that. I've had that happen to me personally, and I don't like it. Like I said, just talk to them as well.
No, that's so important, Bradley. Thank you for sharing. Keith, do you want to hop in and share any tidbits of wisdom that you have from all of your
Well,
experiences?
my experience I had was at Stanford Hospital, where I think where you're at right now. My experience was I had the appendix out I think it was last year in October of last year. I had to go to Stanford because they couldn't find anything here in Salinas. I'm from Salinas, California. They couldn't find anything here. My doctors over here, so they sent me to Stanford to see what's going on. So they went up there, but they took X-rays and stuff like that up there, and they found it was a appendix was getting larger, so they told me to come back another day, sent me home, and they told me to come back, but it gets worse, come back, it gets bigger, come back. So the next week I came back, it got bigger, so it started hurting because I was at my program when I started hurting the second time, so I told them to take me to the hospital. So my family drove me to the hospital at Stanford. They kept me overnight. They did kept me overnight that day. They did give me kept me in a room for a couple of days. I mean, for a day or so. Did the surgery next day. They were a really good hospital, Stanford. They really took good care of me over there, and I really enjoyed how they handled me and stuff. How they, yeah.
But what did you not like about that visit, or what were you
Well,
uncomfortable with, which they did better?
The only visit I didn't care for, the bad part about when they didn't tell me what they were going to do, they didn't. My grandparents go up there. The grandparents went home the next day. They were really tired. So they went home the next day. And what I didn't like about that, they never told them about come up there. I guess they're going to call. They're going to say the next day they had surgery on me, and never told them I had surgery. They never called them and say he's going to have his appendix surgery. I wanted my grandparents to be there, but they wouldn't allow them to be there. When they're in the car, that's what I was afraid of, because they're not there supporting me. They didn't let me go in the room. They didn't let them go to the hospital when that was appendix. They got there later. That was my part about it. I was really scared. I was in the room. I was terrifying by myself. But, especially for a disabled adult, they should have let somebody disabled, stay with me, because they didn't let me grandpa stay all night in the room. They sent them home. They wish to let them stay the night in the room, because I was scared all night long in that room, because I was by myself, and there was no parent, nobody in the room. I was by myself in the room. That scared me, because myself and that's my part. But I think they should take more good care, take more care of disabled people more than they did that day. They should work more disabled people than what they. I wish they did that more better, but they did.
Yeah, and that was during COVID. And that was during COVID, right? So that was when the COVID policies were keeping people. But maybe it'd be a good idea for doctors to think about how those sorts of policies impact people with intellectual disabilities differently than they may impact other people, and maybe see if some exceptions can be made so that, your guardian and your parents could have stayed with you overnight, because that does sound very scary. I would be very scared.
That was kind of scary. I wasn't. Well, that next day they came to the room and after that I was in a room with my family, and they stayed in the room, and it was pretty good. It was just kind of scary to be by myself.
Yeah, I bet. All right, cool. Well, I have more questions for you guys, but I want to open it up to our amazing audience. Do you guys have any questions for Keith and Bradley, or other things you want to chat about?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm curious about what you've noticed that people assume that you feel like they probably shouldn't assume, or assumptions that you'd like to kind of correct from your medical providers or people you interact with in the healthcare system.
I'm sorry, Charlotte. Can you please elaborate on that question? I'm really not understanding what you're saying.
Oh, my mistake. So I was just curious if when you go into appointments with doctors or other healthcare professionals, if you feel like they're making assumptions about you or your medical care that you don't feel are super accurate, and what are some things that we as medical providers need to be careful that we're not assuming. Does that make more sense?
Bradley, what do people think about you and your age?
First of all, they think that I don't look like a 28-year-old. Yeah, what a shocker. I'm actually going to be 29 here in a few days. But they think I don't know if that's true, but this is what's happened to me in my past. They think of me as a kid instead of a young adult. Yes, I understand that some of the stuff that you guys, like the doctors ask, I can't really understand. Thank you, Roxana. I just got your message. Thank you so much. But some of the questions I can't understand with them. So I usually ask, hey, can you include my mom in some way, or can you elaborate and make it easier for me to understand? Don't come in to a patient's room and say, hey, we're giving you this surgery today, but we're not going to explain it. That's something that I wouldn't have you guys do if you guys were my doctors. No offense, but explain what's going on. The basically best way I can say it, explain what is going on. If your said patient is a child or an adult with intellectual disabilities, if they don't understand and your guardian is not there, make sure that you sit down with them and explain it to them of like, hey, here's the surgery that we're having. This is how long it's going to take. This is how long you're going to be in recovery. Don't say, hey, okay, let's wheel you up to the ER or to the surgery place. Lauren, help me out here. You know what I'm thinking of right now? To the emergency room or operating room. Thank you. Operating room. And say, okay, we're having the surgery. Don't. I can't. Make sure that your patient knows what surgery they're having and make sure that they're okay. It's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, I think Bradley brings up a really good point that I've heard other people talk about, and I've also heard Bradley talk about, is a lot of times physicians and doctors will maybe not assume people with intellectual disabilities are children, but we'll treat them like children and not explain something. And I think that's really important, that we treat kids like kids and adults like adults, regardless of their ability status. And Keith, what do you have to add to this? I'd love to hear your perspective.
What makes me comfortable is when the doctor takes the time to listen to me if they answer all the medical questions. What makes me uncomfortable is when a doctor won't answer my questions and rush to see other patients. I don't care for that. I'd rather have to spend the time with me more and see other docs, see other patients. They should have more time to see me and rush to another doctor, another patient in a room. They should see me first before they rush to the room. They should figure out the patients first. Patients come first. They should at first, but they move on to a different person in a different room. I think that's bad. It should do.
Yeah, no, you make a great point, Keith. Thank you so much for that question, Charlotte. Does anyone else have any other questions they'd like to ask Keith and Bradley?
I have another question. I'm just wondering, what's a moment, y'all's favorite moment from Special Olympics or a game or something, if y'all could share an experience.
Yes, thank you. I thought this whole conversation was going to be about medical, which I don't mind. But my favorite moment from Special Olympics is always not only get to hang out with Tyler and not only get to hang out with Keith on Zoom, but being able to play soccer, play with my friends, and enjoy the teamwork that we work together with. And the fact of the gold medals afterwards, that is the best part. And traveling to the games and bringing home gold or silver or a ribbon, but mainly gold. Keith, I think the question's been jumped to you now or something.
Yeah, Keith, what's your favorite story?
Keith, you are on mute.
Well, my favorite moment is when I think about that for a minute. My friend, well, I got to go summer games this year. Back to summer games during the after the COVID. I got to go to summer games this year, and especially I was right. I got to go back this year. It was a lot of fun to be able to go back after the COVID because everything's been shut down for 3 years here. So that was a good part about I like that. I was able to go back to the summer games and do Boston this year. That was the biggest made me really happy this year. Able to go back, the see different athletes and stuff. I've see my coaches, my friends this year. I haven't seen them for 3 years. Was able to see them. It was awesome to see them after the COVID was over. It's been too long ago, but I'm glad it was over. I was able to see my friends and family, see my friends and family, and see my friends and coaches again.
I think we all miss being in person. So that was
Yeah,
one of my favorites too. Yeah. Amazing. Anyone else have any other questions? We have a few minutes left, and Bradley and Keith can talk all night. So
Don't test me.
Hey, maybe I missed this in the intro, but how exactly did you guys first get involved in the Special Olympics? Was it a doctor? Was it a coach at school? Who initially got you interested?
Allison, you didn't miss that in the intro because nobody's asked that yet. So
Okay, just checking.
nobody's asked that yet. You were the first person to ask. How I got involved with Special Olympics is through my coach out here in Galt. She was actually my first grade teacher. And she had explained that there was this I didn't know what Special Olympics was. I was about 8 years old at this time. Yeah. So fast forward about 20 years ago. I'm 28 now. I'm gonna be 29 here in a few weeks. I'm 28 now. I didn't know what Special Olympics was. So I went out to my first practice ever and find out what it is. And I just found out from her, and I have some friends, none of them who are on here from my team. Well, Keith is a good friend of mine, but Keith's not from my team. He's from, I don't know what team you are from, buddy, but
I'm from Salinas, California. We're
yeah,
down here by Monterey area, Monterey, California.
yeah. But I've met some really cool people. I've met Tyler along the way. Yeah, put that thumb up, Tyler. Who after I stopped playing, he really got me connected to the global messenger of Special Olympics. So it's not just the games that I do, it is all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody sees, that Keith and I do along with a bunch of other of our friends. So it is, like I said, it is the teamwork, it is the friendship, it is the Yahoo of Special Olympics. That's the way I could describe it all. Oh, and the gold medals. Lauren, I see you cracking up.
I would say we all love the gold medals. I got a Special Olympics gold medal, and it's still hanging on my little bookshelf. So I love it. Keith, how did you get involved in Special Olympics?
Well, I got involved, especially some friends of mine told me about Special Olympics. So I got myself involved. So I started Special Olympics about 2012. I started doing Special Olympics here in Monterey County. So I've been doing it since 2012. So about 10 years. About 10 years now. I really enjoyed it. I've met so many great coaches, made so many great friends along the way as I've been doing this for 10 years. I really enjoy it. Makes me active. I'm more involved with basketball, every bocce, swimming, soccer, bowling. I'm busy all year long doing different sports, seeing all my friends and so I see my friends and coaches. I like doing it because it keeps me motivated, keeps me busy all year long. When I not do anything, it makes me kind of not makes me less. Is it not? I like to stay busy all the time because it makes me motivated. So that's why I like to do special events. I get to see all my coaches, my friends. So along the way, so I haven't seen them for a long time. I like being busy all the time. It's it's a great experience for me. I enjoy doing what I do. Really awesome.
Yeah, I think staying busy is so important. And I think too, sort of referring to Allison's question, a lot of physicians and students, at least in surveys we've done, don't really know what's out there in terms of community programs for people with intellectual disabilities. And Special Olympics is always a great place to start. There are local sort of chapters and big sort of, per state, each state has their own Special Olympics. So getting people with intellectual disabilities hooked into sport and leadership programs and health programs is so important. And I realize it is 6:30, so our meeting does start, but I wanted to end this little tidbit of it, Keith and Bradley, if you could give one piece of advice to all of the future doctors on this call, what would you tell them?
Keith, I'm going to let you answer that question first because I got a lot of advice.
Okay. My advice to doctors, sorry. My advice to the doctors to be patient with people with disabilities. If they're in pain, they don't know how to communicate to doctors. They're afraid of what's happening to them. Doctors in their minds may hurt them, to like giving shots something that hurts. So you gotta be patient with the disability people because they don't know what you're gonna do to them because there's different those disabilities. You gotta know how to handle these people with disabilities because there's different levels up and down. You know how they're gonna handle what you're doing to them. You gotta be patient with them and strong. That's what you gotta do. Thank you.
First of all, nice call out, Lauren. I saw that in the messenger. For me, I almost have to go with the same thing that Keith said, but I'm gonna have to twist it a little bit. Is not only make sure that your patients are good and well taken care of, but make sure that just like if something happens in the middle of the night, you need to be there. And I understand that you guys are gonna be there 24 hours a day, but if something happens, you really need to make sure that they're okay. Because if something doesn't go right in the middle of the night, if something really doesn't go right, then that's not going to be good for you. That's not going to be good for your patient. That's not going to be good for the caregiver. Just make sure that they're okay when you check in on them. Ask them, Tyler, are you okay? Keith, are you okay? Lauren, are you okay? Sorry, guys, you guys were the first three that I saw. But seriously, I seriously go back to check in with your patient, make sure that they're okay. Because if you don't, then if say a medicine doesn't work, then that'll immediately probably trigger a reaction to the patient, and it's not a good idea.
I love it. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you guys for coming today. I'll give you guys a big round of applause. I always love hanging out with you guys, and I'm so excited that you all got to share your wisdom with so many new people today.
Well, thanks for inviting us on this call. We appreciate meeting all the doctors. Nice, really throw it to me, everybody.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of new faces, getting to see a lot of familiar faces, or at least 4 that I know. Getting to meet a lot of new doctors for the first time. I think you guys are gonna really go and do really good. This is what I always tell new doctors, and Lauren, I told you this the first time I met you, is get to know your patient as if they don't friend them, but get to know your patient as if they would want to know you. Don't just read the chart that they give you. Get to know that patient. Lauren can help you out. I kind of biffed it a little bit, but Lauren, you get my hint.
Bradley's been my favorite teacher in all of medical school. So, and Keith and everyone at Special Olympics. But I think we unfortunately have to have our meeting. So thank you guys for coming. And again, thank you, Tyler, for organizing this. And hopefully we can do this again or do something similar again. You guys are amazing. So thank you.